What's going on, friends? Logan Myerz here for Cinephellas.com to talk about more sci-fi. I've been in a really big science fiction kick lately. I just reviewed Annihilation. And today I want to talk about the Netflix series Altered Carbon. The show Altered Carbon tackles something unique. There's more to life than just life and death. There's something after death. The show, it's a futuristic sci-fi reality. It's like sci-fi meets cyberpunk. In the show, they call it a stack. It's transferable to another body. So if you die, your conscience gets transferred off to somebody else, not necessarily just another, if you're a male, another white male. It gets transferred to whatever is available. When the stack gets transferred to another body, they call it a sleeve. So the bodies are sleeves. And it's really cool because, you could be a woman and you could be transferred to a male's body. It doesn't really matter in this reality. The show focuses on Takeshi Kovacs, played by Joel Kinnaman. You guys may be familiar with his work. I really love this actor. He was in House of Cards. One of my favorite shows is The Killing, and he was also Rick Flag in Suicide Squad. But we won't go there. I won't blame that movie on Joel Kinnaman. I really blame the director and the script on that film. So, in this show, his performance is really top-notch and probably one of his best to date. And it's basically a dead soldier brought back to life. I think he's been dead for like 250 years. They bring him back. He's in this white guy's body, which is Joel Kinnaman. The original person, Kovacs, was Asian. So they bring him back in this new body, and he's assigned this murder case. Lawrence Bancroft, which is super wealthy. He's got a lot of money. He's got a beautiful wife, family, you name it. But of course, he's not a great person. Usually with these wealthy people, they have dark secrets, and that's pretty much the premise of the show, is trying to figure out who killed Lawrence Bancroft. Lawrence Bancroft and his group of rich, wealthy people they're called the meth. Meth, not like the drug, meth. They're basically just a bunch of wealthy people that stay young and live forever and continue down the chain of other rich people, just continue to stay alive and use their wealth to their advantage. Then we're introduced to Ortega, which is another cop. Her and Kovacs kind of butt heads throughout the show. Eventually they figure things out and get along. And she's kind of a really angry person, angry cop, and she'll do what it takes to solve crimes and get the answers, even though it's, breaking the law. In a way, she's kind of like a corrupt cop. And there's a lot of corruption in the show, especially with the police force doing things that are not very trustworthy and crossing the line of, what's legal and what's illegal. Another character is Vernon Elliott. He's got a shit ton of guns, and Kovacs goes and finds them and has all this artillery in his house, and they kind of start fighting all crazy. But Vernon's daughter's mind was in prison in this virtual reality, and they kind of go into this reality and try to find her, and it really sets up their storyline in the show. And one of my favorite characters of the show is Poe, played by Chris Connor, and he runs a Edgar Allan Poe hotel, and he's an AI. So he's really cool and very knowledgeable, and he's kind of like Kovacs' sidekick and really helps him out throughout the first season of the show. And it's really compelling storytelling because, not to mention that the show is absolutely beautiful for a Netflix show. I mean, it's like a high-budget film you would see, and it's much like Ghost in the Shell. And you can see with the writers and the directors of the show, they definitely did their Blade Runner homework because there's a lot of similarities. Visually, it looks like something you'd see in Blade Runner with a lot of, dark and dreary colors on top of the buildings that are like neon lights and things like that. But it's always like raining in the show, much like Blade Runner. But I really appreciate that. As the show progresses and them trying to figure out who killed Bancroft, you don't really care because he was such a piece of shit. Throughout the season, you figure out what he was into, and he was in a lot of weird, kinky things, and he was just not a good person. So as the audience, like myself, you stop caring about this murder mystery because you don't care about this person at all. He wasn't a good person. So that's one of the downfalls of the show. As Kovacs, Ortega discover and figure out who killed Bancroft, there's a lot of great, action sequences throughout the show. I mean, there's a lot of fighting. There's a lot of nudity, too. If you're not into that, you probably shouldn't watch this. A lot of male and female nudity. I guess that's part of the sci-fi realm, but, it got a little uncomfortable here and there throughout the show. But as they really, figure out this case, you see their dynamic really get stronger. Their chemistry together, started off with them butting heads and really not liking each other towards the end of the show. They really come together to figure this out. With that being said, Kovach's sister is a part of this. You see a lot of flashbacks between him and her when they're young kids, and how she really evolved as a woman and really a villain in the show. But the big takeaways from the show, with the top-notch camera work and set design and beautiful colors that they used, the focal point and what I took out of this is eternal life, immortality. Because with the use of these technologies, even though you die, your consciousness can get transferred to another body. Whatever sleeve is laying around, you can just be a different color, a different gender. It doesn't matter in this world, and that's really, really, really great. This is a thought-provoking show. Not everything is clear-cut. You have to really kind of dive into it a little more to figure out what's going on exactly. Not to mention all the sub-characters within the show. It's they throw a lot at you in 10 episodes. But the more you stay interested in it, the more it'll make sense. Overall, I really loved Altered Carbon. It really kept me invested through the 10 episodes. It made me excited for more. I really hope they put out another season. Great performances, great writing, great directing. And it's definitely a show you should definitely check out if you've not seen this. If you're into the sci-fi like I am as of late, if you're into like Blade Runner and Ghost in the Shell, this is right up your alley. You should definitely check it out. It's only 10 episodes. It's on Netflix right now streaming. I'm going to give Netflix's Altered Carbon a 4 out of 5 sleeve pieces. So what did you guys think? Have you guys seen this on Netflix? What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? What are your thoughts on the overall premise of the show of using stacks and using these sleeves and other bodies to transfer your consciousness? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit subscribe. This is Logan Myerz signing out from the beautifully crafted set of Altered Carbon. I may be in the next season 2, just to let you know. So keep an eye out for that. Till next time, cheers!